to Simply Fujica, a place for budding and aspiring entrepreneurs. Guys, I want to welcome you to another week. And if you're new to this channel, I definitely want to welcome you. Guys, here we build businesses. We are starting our home care agencies. And I serve this community as a business mentor. Before we go any further, make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And guys, don't forget to hit that bell notification so that you're notified every time I drop a new video. Okay guys, we're gonna get started. So before we transition to the content, you guys know, if you've watched any of my videos or if you follow me at all these last couple of years, I'm always drilling down the fact that you have to create a business plan prior to you starting your business. Well guys, I have finally developed a business plan course for you. It's actually called How to Create a Dynamic Business Plan. Guys, I have the link in the description and I am offering it to you at an introductory rate of $25. Guys, that $25 includes 3 lesson plans that I have created just for you guys. In it, I describe all the contents that make a successful business plan. I actually have created a template for you as well. And so guys, I'm really excited. For the month of September, as long as you purchase it in the month of September, it will only be $25. So I am so excited. Do not forget, the class is live and ready to go. I will have the link in the description. So with that today, guys, we are talking about, you guessed it, how do you build a business plan? So I'm going to walk you through the contents, and then after the video, if you feel like you still need a little bit more or you would desire to have that template, go ahead and hit that link in the description. Okay guys, let's get started. Okay guys, welcome back. So hopefully you see my screen, and I am going to be just speaking from this one screen during this presentation, talking about the business plan. And so as you can see, there are elements here, and these are pretty much the elements. I know you've probably seen different versions of this, but essentially no matter what components are put in there, the way you want to look at your business plan is that business plan will essentially be the foundation of your business. So it is the who, the why, the what, the when, all of those. The business plan answers all of those questions. And so this is really not something that you can throw together really quickly. It takes analysis. It takes research. It takes you making some phone calls, doing some research, because you're really trying to make sure that there is no stone unturned as it relates to your business. Okay? So with that, I'm going to get started. The executive summary is where we're going to start. That executive summary is really the overview of your entire business. Who are you? What is the business idea? Typically, we talk about in the executive summary, whenever you think of your service and or product, typically you mention those as that is some type of solution to the problem. So in your summary, you want to talk about what is the problem? What is the industry? How is that industry trending? How much money does that industry make? Right? And then you want to dive into how your business solves the problem and how. Then you want to go into where you'll be located. Is this an online business? Are you going to have a brick and mortar? Do you have a retail space? That type of thing. So it's really an introduction to the reader about your business. It's the overall landscape of your business. Okay, so that's the executive summary. The mission statement, and you don't see that here, but the vision statement, a lot of times you see that within the executive summary, but it's really talking about your why, your purpose. And typically these are 1 to 2 liners. When I mention the length of things, I'm talking about what typically something is. I do want to preface this whole presentation by saying this is your business plan. So however you feel you can get your ideas and points across, do that. You don't need to apologize for expressing yourself how you feel on your business plan. So I'm going to try my best to be a guide for you, and you pick and choose what you listen to and what you're like, hey, that sounds good, but I'm going to do something a little bit different. Okay, fair enough? Your mission and vision statement is really talking about the values of your organization. You're really talking about the goal of your organization and how you're going to go about doing it. So it's really your value proposition. What do you stand for? What is your long-term vision for your company? What's your philosophy? Those are the types of things that go into your mission statement. I'll come back to operations. I'm going to skip over to company background and then product description. Because some of that is going to be, depending on how your business plan flows, I think that is more found towards the executive summary and business overview. So your company background and your product description, so I would say is part of your executive summary. It's definitely a part of your business overview. So you've already laid out your company background. Now, one thing I will say is this is a good opportunity for you to talk about your background. So product description, we've already talked about. So we've talked about your products, we've talked about your services, in any way you can describe them. For instance, if you have something that is special about your product. So let's say, for instance, you're selling socks, and I don't know why I came up with that example, but you can get socks almost anywhere, right? Why do we want your socks? What's so special about them? So you want to be descriptive about why this is a good, like let's say that you're preparing your business plan for a potential loan. You want to tell this person and sell this person why they should loan you money for your specific socks. Okay, does that make sense? So really being descriptive about your particular product. Okay, so let's jump back. Let's jump back to operations now. So operations, if you think about how your business is going to operate. So is there going to be a leadership team? What role are you going to play? Who's going to be interested in the staffing? Initially, when you first start, now everyone's starting differently, correct? But a lot of us are solopreneurs at the very beginning or partners. So usually it's 1 to 2 people running the entire company. And that's fine. So you may want to break the operations portion up into phases. So in terms of phase 1, launch, right? It may be just you doing everything. And then after 6 months to a year, you reevaluate, you look at the business, you see what does the business need at this time. And so there may be a phase 2. If you do have a leadership team, then specifically, what are those leaders doing? What are they responsible for? Okay. In terms of production, what does production look like for you? How do you know that you're being successful? And it's not just about, hey, we're turning a profit, so we're doing good. Yes, that's nice. But what did it take for you to be turning that profit? Was there a certain amount of widgets that you had to produce? Was there a certain amount of clients that you had to turn over? What does your production look like? And how do you measure it in terms of success? That's what you want to put in your operations. Okay. So what are your processes? What are your procedures? Who's putting all of that together? What does hiring and staffing look like? What does onboarding look like? Who's running your human resources? Right? So those are the types you want to put into operations. Essentially, how your business is running. Anything that needs to be discussed regarding how your business is running should go into operations. Now we're switching over to, I'm going to talk about the SWOT analysis really quickly. Okay. The SWOT analysis is your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats. So this is really a section on positioning. Right? So you should be able to speak to really quickly what your strengths and weaknesses are. Honestly speaking, you should be able to. And then you can transition to opportunities and threats. Anytime that I've identified a weakness or an opportunity, almost automatically the next thing I'm going to try to figure out is who is doing something about it. So if you do have an operations manager, if you do have a leader that you have hired in under you, one of their very first assignments should be solutioning your weakness, solutioning your opportunities, solutioning your threats, and absolutely capitalizing on your strengths. Okay, so what does that look like? Okay, why is it a weakness today? What do you plan to do about it? When should we see that tide turn? That's the type of things you want to put into your SWOT analysis. Now, I will say this, guys. typically you're not going to see whatever those identified weaknesses, opportunities, threats, whatever you identified during that analysis. They're not going to turn around tomorrow, and that's okay. But what does that timeline look like? Anyone who is assigned or tasked to working on this SWOT analysis, what does success look like to them? So you want to make sure that they understand what your expectations are, and that you're meeting frequently to discuss that progress. Marketing plan is pretty self-explanatory here, but really you're talking about how are you going to be attracting and going after your target customer. Okay, so you're literally understanding who your customer is, you're creating that buyer persona, and then you're creating that buyer profile based on that persona. What is your buyer's age? What do they do? How will you find them? Where are they located? Can you try to figure out what their median income is, right? Where do they live? What are their shopping habits? Okay. So once you develop that and once you know who that is, then the second part of it is now, well, how do I get them? So this is where you create your marketing plan. Okay. So this is building your website, creating brochures, flyers, definitely capitalizing on SEOs, definitely making sure that you're leveraging your social media platforms. So absolutely, there's going to be a plan, and as soon as it is appropriate for you, okay, as soon as it's appropriate for you, and to me, anytime that I have a business concept, it's appropriate for me to start talking about it, because I want whoever is listening to me or whoever is connected with me to know that I have an up and coming business. Because soon as my day one starts, I want you supporting me from day one. Okay, so that's what that marketing plan looks like. Guys, I want to talk about competitor analysis really briefly. When you are, I would say, somewhere in between your marketing plan and I would say maybe after your executive summary and somewhere before your marketing plan, you should definitely know who your competition is. It actually definitely will probably be mentioned in your SWOT analysis. So there's a couple of places where this competitor analysis will be. But essentially, you are identifying and understanding the fact that you know who your competition is and you know where you sit within that competition. Okay, so I am going to use home care agencies as an example here, because a lot of us know that typically in any given city, there are several home care agencies. And so that analysis will include, where are they? How many are there? What do they charge for their services? What services do they offer? Because see, once you understand how you stack up against that, then you can really decide, okay, well, how do I give myself a competitive advantage? How do I differentiate myself between me and the other 5 home care agencies? That's the idea there, is really just to not only understand your competition, but understand how you can get in there and start taking some of that market share. Really start taking some of those customers. Okay. And then financial planning. There's really not a whole lot to say here, guys. Financial planning is important. And unless someone has given you an open checkbook, you have to make sure you understand how you're going to finance your business. Some of us will have that cash on hand through accessing some funds that we may have, such as 401ks and things of that nature. And I'm going to go ahead and actually, now that I say this, I'm going to link some of my funding videos that I've done on how to fund your home care agencies. I'll make sure those are included in the description. So you're going to access, what do you have on hand? That went off. You're going to access what do you have on hand, right? You're also going to look at your alternative sources of income. So things that might not be on hand, but they may have credit value. They may have a loan value, right? So just things of that nature. But in any way, you're determining how you're going to fund your agency. You also want to take a look at what are your expenses going to be looking like. You're also going to do a sales forecast, right? So here's the thing. You may want to partner with an accountant to help you with this. Or for me, I wanted to personally make sure that I understood what my money was looking like. Okay. And so you may want to do these reports on your own. But again, some of these things you want to for sure be as close as possible, with the understanding that you may need to revise based off of experience and based off of trends. Okay, so guys, I do hope that this was healthy for you. Again, this is something I've been talking about for the past couple of years. I know you guys have asked me about it, so I wanted to make sure I had a free resource for you. And for some of you who need a little bit more, want to dig a bit deeper, I will have the link in the description for my course. Okay, guys, that's all I have for you guys. Hopefully you found some nuggets in what we discussed today. Do not forget about the business plan course that's in the link in the description. Make sure you sign up for the class, guys. Make sure you enroll. I'm very proud of it. I think you guys will find some information that you need there. One last reminder to like the video if you haven't already. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel, and do not forget to hit that bell notification so that you're notified every time I release a new video. Guys, that's all I have for you today. Stay blessed.